Keeping it blunt.
Shout out Apollo on face on my niggas, what's up? Shout out Apollo on face on my niggas, what's up?
Boom!
Yes, sir.
America,
Keeping it blunt,
baby. Listen,
See who got
America.
in the building, man.
Listen, today we have an amateur fighter that is extremely active. I gotta tell you, that's the reason why. That's what caught my eye. I ain't gonna lie. Extremely active. Currently, she has about 22 fights with 8 more on the card, or with 8 more for the year for 2025. Super exciting. Purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, let's get into it.
Rachel Beauchamp. How you doing today, Rachel?
Pretty good.
That's always good. That's always good. How's your neighbors? I see they were out. I see they were a little poking around while you were working out, while you were doing your thing outside. Is that it with the training this morning or yesterday?
Yeah, they were just. That was last night. Yeah, they were watching last night.
Were you doing some striking, I guess?
A little bit of striking, trying to figure out how I'm gonna shoot in the grass. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, so I was kind of going through how I would do a takedown in a yard.
That's what's up.
Okay.
What's up?
Okay.
Speaking
yeah.
of yard, I'm super excited to announce that you're going to be doing some wheelchair boxing for Street Beefs.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Like, what's going on with that? Like, why wheelchair boxing?
So I know that's really weird because I'm not in a wheelchair. So there was this woman that I was supposed to fight last July, kickboxing. I did not want to do kickboxing, but she couldn't make the fight. I don't really know why, but it didn't work out. And over time, she's now in a wheelchair. She has arthritis. She can stand up for a short amount of time, but she's in excruciating pain. So primarily in a wheelchair. And we're now kind of like friends. I've joined her team recently. Anyhow, she really wants to fight. She wants to fight so bad, and she's seeing all of us fight. And I said, let's do a wheelchair boxing match. And we were going to do it as a fundraiser for adaptive martial arts. And we plan on doing that in the future. But she really, really wants to fight. She's such a warrior. So at my last fight, we were like trying to figure out how we were going to get this done quickly. And we decided to do Street Beefs because it's pretty much, there's a lot of females fighting on this next June 7th card.
Yeah.
So I said, let's go up there. Let's do it. I know Chris does wheelchair boxing matches. I've seen it. And she was like, let's do it. Yeah. And then we decided small gloves, kind of like dirty boxing. We're back and forth on elbows. I'm not sure I want to do elbows, but we're just.
It'll be hard to reach from the wheelchair. You don't think? Like,
there's some. She was actually practicing elbowing me in the face from the wheelchair Friday. It was made me a little nervous.
Yeah.
So shout her out. What's her name?
That's an interesting one.
Her name is Brandy B. Savage Pack Bradley.
Shout out Brandy Savage.
Has she always been in a wheelchair?
No, because we were supposed to fight last year, kickboxing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she has arthritis. So.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, she could stand up temporarily, but it's like excruciating to stand up. She said.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jesus.
But to see somebody like me that just wants to fight and literally just watching the sadness of wanting to fight, I just wanted to make sure she had an opportunity.
No, definitely. Much respect to you for doing that for her, man. Because I know what it feels like to. I'm just coming off a knee surgery, and I've been watching my boys compete, and I know what it's like to sit on the sideline and still have that fire in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm still, I'm in the process of healing, and I'll be back eventually. But to be like not able to compete again, and you to give her that window of opportunity, that's big on you. So shout out to you for that.
Thank you. I mean, I've been in a wheelchair. I know it's no fun.
Yeah, that shit sucks. I've never been in a wheelchair, but I've been on crutches plenty of times. I've broken my ankle. I've broken my fibula, whatever. Tore my meniscus, fucking different sprains and shit here and there. I'm all fucked up.
So I know that you had, so before we get into this last fight, 'cause I definitely want to talk about that. I want to talk about a fight you had previously scheduled before that, where I don't remember the woman's name. I missed that part, so darn. But I do remember though there being some kind of like real life beef, and you had to cancel the fight. Is that right? Am I right in that?
So yeah, I
What
was
was her
supposed
name?
to do a Rich Kristen Gifford.
Kristen Kitchen.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, we were supposed to have an MMA fight. We'd been discussing it for a year. She was having a hard time finding an opponent. I agreed to be the opponent. Um, and then I thought we were friends, but apparently in this world, you have to be careful who you trust being your friend. Um, and when we finally got it scheduled, there was a lot of playfulness back and forth that we agreed to. And for some reason, she just turned on me. She was like, "You're not even on my level. I don't, you fighting me would be kind of like a joke." And I got offended
Oh
because
shit, I would have too.
her her Muay Thai is trash. Like it's not good. Um, she lost her first MMA fight in 35 seconds. She got taken down and ground and pounded. So I know my jujitsu is where it's
I
at.
was gonna say you're a purple belt of jiu-jitsu, so that should be no problem for you.
Technically, I'm a blue belt because I don't have anybody to promote me, but I've been a 3-stripe blue belt for 2 years now. Definitely purple belt level,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it was not going to be a good day. So when she trashed me, I rightfully got annoyed. Like, what do you mean I'm not on your level? Um, so we kind of started arguing. We decided to still fight. She asked for Muay Thai instead of MMA, and then wanted small gloves Muay Thai. I said sure. Um, then she just kept on like stalking and bullying me, trashing me, and I got mad. I told her if she did the throat slice thing one more time, I was pulling out. I pulled out because I wasn't going to be a liar. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and so I did. And I realized afterwards that that was not what I wanted. I still really, really want to fight Kristen. If she accepted today, I would still do it. Um,
Why did that throat slice gesture like get to you like that?
because I have been held at knife point so much throughout my life by attackers.
It
My
triggered.
ex-husband, yeah, it
Mm.
triggered by, I have severe PTSD. Um, and my ex-husband used to, that was his favorite thing, was to hold me at knife point. Um, and my ex-coach used to use knives to get compliance. Uh, so it was just very triggering, very triggering. And
Shit.
I realized looking back on it, I should have just still fought her. I should have not let it get to me. But now she won't re-accept the fight, even though she's telling everybody I won't fight her. I've tried.
So with having PTSD, severe PTSD, does that ever bother you in the ring?
No, not in the ring.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
The ring's actually the only time that my PTSD is not a real problem.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what's up.
So I see you was talking about you got your fight scheduled and you're like, don't schedule me no more amateur fights. I'm going pro.
Yeah.
So
That's
what are your plans for that?
Hey, pro, I want to do bare knuckle. That's all I want. I'm tired of doing MMA. I really don't want to do MMA anymore. A lot of people are like, why you love jujitsu, you love to grapple.
That was my question too.
But I really just want to get back to bare knuckle fighting. Like I grew up fighting. Obviously, I didn't wear gloves. I think bare knuckle would be great.
So I agree with that. I've watched almost all your fights, and I would agree that I think from my standpoint, I think bare knuckle would be a good fit for you too. Even maybe some dirty boxing. I know you don't really like elbows too much, but I think it would be good because I think from what I could tell in your striking, you like to punch. You prefer to punch more than anything else. I've seen you kick. I've seen you knee. I've seen you elbow. I've seen you take down. but I would definitely say, you know, in your striking, punching is definitely your bread and butter. So I think you'd be good. Is there any promotions that are lined up, or is it lined up, or is it something you're aspiring to do?
It's something I'm aspiring to do. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I mean, I feel like I've started asking some of my friends that are in bare knuckle promotions to see if they can get me in, because that's what I want.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, they got what's they got? They got BKB, they got BKFC. I know those two.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking at? One of those two?
Yeah, but I'm also looking at like the local regional shows. Bare knuckles legal in Virginia now. Some of the promotions there are doing it.
Okay.
I don't really care. I just want a bare knuckle fight.
So if you're willing to travel here, Clearwater, Florida, they got a bunch of bare knuckle gyms out here and bare knuckle promotions. I got a couple of guys out here I could probably link you in with.
Yeah, I'm willing to travel. Like, I'm supposed to go to Fargo to fight July 19th, so I don't really
Okay.
care.
Okay, definitely. We'll definitely keep in touch and we'll talk about it.
Cool.
Like, what would you say would be like your proudest moment in your career so far?
Proudest moment. When I fought Joy Miller at a Firehouse Fight. So every gym I've went to, Joyce also trained at before I did. Like, we never met each other. She was always at those gyms before I was and left before I got there. Um, but I'd always heard how much of a legend she was. And when I agreed to fight her last October, I knew I was in trouble because she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She's a black belt in Joe Louis kickboxing, high-level black belt in Taekwondo. I was like, I don't have this woman standing. I don't have her on the ground. If it hits the ground, I'm dead. So it made me really, really have to force myself to work on my striking. And that's when I felt like I developed some hands finally. And yeah, that was my proudest moment because I really dug deep and worked on my striking. And
That's what's up.
I lost the fight by decision, but it was a really close fight. And to fight somebody that far ahead of me was impressive. And I didn't go to the ground at all 3 rounds. So really proud.
So yeah, you really got a chance to test yourself and prove to yourself where you really stand, and you know, to get a chance to like see like I do belong here. I can hang with the best of them, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that was it
I
for
can
me.
appreciate that. I can appreciate that for sure.
So the camp that then you said you're down in a new camp. Is that Terry over at Imperial Muay Thai? Is that the new camp that you're talking about?
Yes.
And how's that going for you so far?
It's really great.
You guys
As
were
a,
you guys were friends first though before that?
so little quick backstory.
Sure.
Terry came to my old gym for a smoker. We had smoker fights. We have a cage, and we would just have people come over, and we'd have like non-sanctioned fights. So Brandy actually came and fought one of the girls from my old gym, and while they were there, I was like, "Hey, Terry, you do Muay Thai. I want to have a Muay Thai fight. Will you fight me Muay Thai?" And we kind of discussed it there, and then we got scheduled to fight each other. And we had our fight on Conflict. I beat her. It was a split decision. And instantly we both were like, we weren't happy with our fight. So we wanted a rematch. So we rematched 3 weeks later, full rules Muay Thai in Virginia. And she beat me. And because she beat me, I was like, you know what? I want to go train with her and see where I need to work on my Muay Thai a little. But going to her gym and seeing that it's predominantly females, I mean, almost her whole gym, her fight team is predominantly women. It was nice. She showed me like the diet plans they have for their camps. Strength and conditioning is top tier. So I was like, I need to be here. So I joined, and I'm really, really happy.
That's great.
Excellent. Yeah, they I think I know I followed her page, the Imperial Muay Thai, so they definitely look like they I know that she got some serious knees. I seen that fight. I seen the second one. I didn't see the first one. And so
The
yeah.
first one was where I did not ever want to have a knee. The first one, she kneed me into the cage and almost threw up. I thought I was going to quit, honestly. And I've never been there in a fight where I'm like, I'm done.
The body shots are different.
So you got some tough knees because I think I seen a video where you had like the body pad on and she was kneeing you and you were
Yep.
whew, and they had a body pad on. So
Through the body pad. Yeah.
Do you ever do any like shin conditioning?
So my first MMA coach, he would take a rolling pin and he would do like 30 whacks across the shin, and
Yeah.
they would hold us down. You put your mouthpiece in, you'd bite down on it, they'd hold you and roll it.
Ugh.
My shins are very conditioned.
that's cool.
Mine are not. I cannot. I can't. Yeah. I don't even want to even think about it. Just thinking about it hurts.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this controversial like turning of a decision with XFA promotion. It looks like at one point you weighed in at like 132, like in your own space, and then somehow when you got there it was like 138. But then they were saying something about like the scale was messed up, like, and then in a whole different fight, if I'm not mistaken, they came back and was like, "Oh, you didn't win. The other person won," because originally you had won the fight. Can you speak on that?
Yeah. Okay. So this was crazy because my scale at the house, they're saying they're going to get us a GoFundMe for a new scale, but my scale has always matched North Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina scales. Never ever had my scale say something different. Terry's scale at the gym is pretty close to my scale of within ounces, so whatever. I knew I was going to be 132, which was overweight. I knew. So I already knew I was going to miss weight because I had a 1.9 pound allowance. Whatever. I was 132. And we went all the way to Tennessee. That's a 5-hour drive. I wore a sweatsuit in the van. I drove and I sweated the whole way there. We got there and I get on the scale and 138. I don't know how, because literally that's not possible. I don't walk at 138. I walk at 137. So I was a pound heavier. And I was so out of it because I drove for like most of the 5 hours. Brandy drove for the last hour.
Okay. She hates this right now.
But I went upstairs. I was like, I'm going to use the bathroom, come back down, reweigh. I was 137 point something. I don't remember. I'm not going to say the point something, but it was almost a whole pound down. So we didn't have hotel information. Until you made weight, he didn't book the hotel. So my coach had to go inside. Terry had to go inside and argue to get us a hotel so that we could go put me in a bath to cut the weight that they said I had, because we were going to make sure we were good. So we went, we got rubbing alcohol and Epsom salt. And I was in a bath for an hour, a hot bath with them in there, making sure I stayed in that bath in a sweatsuit, wrapped in towels. Like they wrapped a towel around my head and around my body for an hour in excruciatingly hot water. We go back. At this point, we got a scale for the hotel, right? And we bought a weight to place on the scale to make sure the scale was the correct weight. So we wanted to make sure. And we weigh me on the scale at the hotel, and I'm fine. I'm on weight. We leave. We go back to XFA. We go downstairs, and I check, and I'm exactly what I was when I left, 137.
What?
That's not possible. I don't know if you've ever taken a cut bath, but this was not one of those, like, I know some people quit sweating. I was still rolling sweat in that cut bath, rolling sweat. So when we got back and I stepped on the scale and it said the same, we're all confused. But the scale's broken. Like Mandy was actually screaming about the broken scale. She's holding up the piece. She's screaming at DJ about the scale being broke. So they move it down to a different place way. They change the batteries. They do all these things, which I get. But the scale's still saying I'm 137. I'm like, no. So we leave, and I was considering trying to figure out what I could do. We also put our weight on the scale to see, and it wasn't even registering a weight when we put the weight on the scale. So my coach put a weight that she brought, and it said 0 pounds, and we were like trying to figure this out.
So did you show anybody that worked for XFA? Like, hey, what's up?
They were there. They were the two people there, Mandy and DJ. They were there. Like, we showed them the weight on the scale. I think his mom or sister or some other female that was related to them was there. We tried everything, but every weigh-in I've ever been to, an official has weighed me on a scale that's not a bathroom scale, but like a real,
like a doctor scale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. I don't know. I get that they're upset. I would be upset, but I know for a fact.
So what, they penalized you for missing weight?
Well, here's the thing. Nothing was said to me. So they told me that Jason, Taylor's coach, was going to weigh me the next day. And I had to be under 145. So I was like, okay, no problem. So show up, and Mandy told me I could weigh in at 10. Then she told me she hadn't had any sleep. It was going to be later. So at 12:30, I was like, can I come weigh in? And we showed up. I weighed in at 144.2 on their scale. I was not 144.2, but whatever. So then they're like, just to let you know, Jason's going to want to weigh you in at rules meeting at 3:30. So I'm like, okay. So I didn't eat or drink anything. Because the scale was saying 144.2, I didn't feel safe to take a sip of a drink. I didn't feel safe to eat.
Sure.
The rules meeting didn't even start on time. About 5 o'clock, I think we were finally done. And I was still waiting for Jason to come weigh me. Nothing happened. This is 5 p.m. Finally, I'm like, at 5:30, I'm like, I'm going to drink some Gatorade. I really don't care. If they haven't weighed me by now, I'm going to drink. So I had nothing until 5:30. Because I was trying to make sure everything was how they wanted it.
Man.
That was it. That was the end of it. So then we walk out. They announce Taylor's name. She walks out. They announce Taylor's name again when I walk out. They announce her. They never said my name. They never said my school. They called her twice. So I go out. And right before the ref comes over, you know, when they say, do you understand the rules, whatever, he says, just to let you know, you're starting this fight down a point. That was it. That's all he said. I was like, I can't argue with this man.
How does that work?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. I was so confused. I was like, I have no clue what this man is talking about. He tells my coach, as a fighter that's been in the cage a lot, I know you can't argue with the ref. That's you don't do.
That's a no. Yeah.
And literally, he was getting ready to say fight, so I didn't have time to be like, hold up, explain this to me. There was no time. So we fight. They said I had the win by split decision. Okay. We leave the cage. Everybody told me that Jason talked to the judges, that Taylor was upset, whatever. I had no clue. I was just sitting there catching my breath. And Mandy comes back. She's like, I never sent your weight in. I'm sorry. I forgot to send it in. It was never sent to anybody. You're being penalized for that. And they deducted a point for your not having your weight. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. She didn't even bring it up as a weight point. She said she never sent my weight to them. So there was no weight. I have no ideas.
So how they even know to do it for a weight if she never sent it?
I have no ideas. And she's like, so we're calling the fight a draw. So I hear them call Taylor back out. I'm in the warm-up area. They call her back out. They put her in the cage. They declare it a draw. They give her a medal, whatever.
What the fuck?
So I get mad. I'm like, no, no, no. You know, I beat her fair and square. I dominated all 3 rounds. I know they're all saying it's because I was fat and I laid on her. That's not true. Taylor actually got up. I had her in a triangle. I had her in an arm bar. Like, she was not underneath me for all 3 rounds. She actually got out of a lot of things. She just, like, couldn't handle the ground game, but she actually was not under me the whole time. And I definitely wasn't that much bigger than her, but they're all using that, whatever. I mean, you know, I just think the biggest mistake with this whole fight, it was originally at 125. I realized I couldn't make 125 after I fought Terry. My body just did not want to do it. So I asked for 130. They agreed. Um, I still don't understand the weight thing because I don't walk at that. Um, and I would own it if I did. I would. I would own it because I had to change both of my fights with Terry to 130s because I made 129 the first time with Terry, and I ended up being 133 for the second one with Terry. But have I ever been 138. Like, that would be me showing up to fight. Not even trying. So
Yeah,
I don't understand this one. Um,
that's wild.
it's just weird.
Do you think you'd ever fight for them ever again, knowing that that's
Absolutely not. And I would never recommend them to anyone else. It was a mess. Like, the doctor didn't show up. And then I heard them talking about, oh, we need a doctor. And then the doctor shows up. He's there late. The grappling show's already started when the doctor gets there. So he's literally flashing the light in our eyes, flashes the light in our mouth, takes stethoscope, puts it to my chest. I'm like, they made us buy our own pregnancy test. I've never had to
What the hell?
test.
That's crazy.
So I asked the doctor, I'm like, do you want to see my pregnancy test?
He's like, no.
And he's like, no. He's like, are you pregnant? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, good. And I'm like, blood pressure? No, I'm good. So he did not check our blood pressure. He did not check our vitals. He just let us fight. People could have died.
That's crazy.
So I lodged a complaint instantly, of course. And I have an official letter. Officially, I won that fight. So they're going to have to put it down as a win. They can't change it to a draw.
Congrats to you for that. You deserve that. You deserve that for real.
Thank you.
That's a win for you, right? That'll go on.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So real quick, we ain't got much time left. We running low on time, but I wanted to get these 2 questions out real quick. So my first question, I wanted to ask you, do you think you fight to prove something to yourself, or do you fight to prove something to the world?
I don't care about anybody else. It's about me.
I hear that, and I love that answer. And my second question, I love to ask this question. So if you had to walk out with any animal to represent you, what animal you walking out with?
No. Animal to represent me. Oh, that's a hard one, actually. Maybe a honey badger.
Honey badger.
I like that. Yeah, because you know what? They're small and they're underestimated, but they're badass, bro. Honey badgers are kill a fucking buffalo.
I'm really not scared of anybody.
Hell yeah. I love that answer.
So we got 8 more fights booked out for the year 2025. We're looking at potentially going pro 2026. Is there anybody, Rachel, you want to shout out promotion wise, or your team or family?
Or maybe call out.
Like make a call out. Yeah, you got to call out. Call them out. Let them know.
I don't really have any call outs. I'm pretty much fighting everybody I want to fight. The few other people I want to fight know that I'm interested. As far as shout out, obviously Terry McDaniel Redmond. She's my coach now. I really appreciate everything she's doing for me.
Oh yeah.
Brandy and Melanie Pack Bradley, they're my teammates. I really appreciate everything they're doing. They put in a lot of effort to make sure these fights are going smoothly.
Yeah, that's what's up. Shout out Brandy Savage.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
I love that name. That's a dope ass name.
it's pretty dope.
Can we get a keeping it blunt, baby?
Keeping it blunt, baby.
Yes, sir. Keeping it blunt, baby.
All right,
But
America.
we appreciate you, man. Thank you for sharing your journey with us, and we're gonna be looking forward to watching you. Anybody go type in YouTube, Rachel Unbreakable Beauchamp. A bunch of her fights, a whole list of them come up, man. So you'll be entertained for a long time.
Word, word,
Hey.
word. All right, cousin, you think America and the world's tired of hearing our voice?
They might be a little tired of us by now. I think so.
All right, Rachel. Well, thank you for spending your morning with us. We hope you have a wonderful day today, and we look forward to seeing you. I definitely look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of your fights, but also for some bare knuckle for sure.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And I'm gonna keep an eye out on that wheelchair boxing. That's gonna be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, Street Beast, right? June 7th, you said? June 7th?
Yep.
Yep, next week.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hell
And where's
yeah,
that going to
hell
be
yeah.
located?
Winchester, Virginia.
Virginia.
All right.
All right. All right. Well, we look forward
Well, thank
to
you
seeing
for coming out.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Keep it blunt,
Keep
baby.
it blunt, baby.
Keeping it blunt. Shout out Apollo and face on my niggas, what's up? Rope up the trunk and we ready to dump. Sending them shots and we leaving them slump. Look.